Cool. So, gosh, 3 nights in a row. To give you a bit of an idea, tonight is actually about how to ways in which you can just like start your own business or kind of increase your business or kind of lean into it really. Um, but the three things that I've worked out after doing loads and loads of courses and stuff with different people, the three things that have been the most powerful is getting over your money shit, knowing what you're here for in the first place, and then actually just doing it, just getting out there and doing what sings to you. And they're the kind of, to me, that's the three things that have been the most powerful. And that's why I wanted to talk about them all really, because they're programs that I've run for other people. But tonight I want to talk about basically a bit about course creation and what it means. A lot of people work one-to-one and it's fantastic, and it's a really great way of getting yourself out there and actually asking individual people for money. It's a really good way of like practicing your receiving skills and things. The thing about one-to-one is that, say Jackie says she's got a cough, say Jackie now can't work this week, that's it. Like, who's gonna pay for Jackie to be off sick, or who's going to pay when? So when we have one-to-ones, we're very much, as we all know, it's the time for money exchange, which is a really big story that we've all been sold. And it goes, so I think rather than it just being what we're used to and what we do, I do feel that it's a program setting we've all been given from a very young age to, you work hard, get a living, and we've all been sold this idea that that's how it should be. And it's really, really warped in my view. So, we're not paid, but right from when I was watching my kids at school and thinking, hang on, so if they're good at something, they don't get a star, but if they work hard at something they're not good at, then they get a gold star. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what we've been doing, isn't it? We've been forcing people to do things they're not very good at, just so they're kind of roughly good at everything, and kind of not letting them dive into their purpose and what they're truly good at. And then we kind of go along, and then there's a lot of negative money stuff that's built up about it, and then it's okay, now let's get a job, and then it is either salaried or time for hours, and we kind of carry on in that. And when you realize that actually you want to help people heal whatever you want to help them heal, doing one-to-one is fantastic, but it has a limit to it. And there's a cap to how much we can earn. And not just so much that, but there's also a cap to how much time and freedom we're buying ourselves, as well as marketing yourself and doing all the stuff you need to do in order to get clients in. And it can actually be the worst paid job you ever do when you work for yourself. It can be the hardest, most like heart-wrenching job, and just paid badly. And as we were chatting briefly to Marion a second ago about it, that because we are people who heal and we help and we help people transform, and that's what we do, there's the assumption that we shouldn't charge that much, or it should be just the joy of us to do. And I saw a little meme earlier that said, people who think I got a gift and I should give it away, and then the bloke looking at his fridge, there was nothing in it. We've got, we need to look after ourselves in order to look after other people. I mean, I don't know, when I became a mum, I remember saying, oh, you can't look after kids if you don't look after yourself. But it's the same for clients. If you're not looking after who you are, if you're not actually enjoying your life, you're not going to be able to enable to help them have the biggest transformation. So whilst I love one-to-one stuff, I do one-to-one stuff still, but I do it very, very differently. And like I said before, so I do it, and I only tend to work with people who are in my group programs, but group programs are so absolutely massively powerful. But it does require, I think, it does require an element of getting over your money stuff, because you do need to look at how much money you want to bring in, and goals of money and things like that. And it does require a little bit of that, because you have to be able to set how is it working, because then strategy comes into it. But when it comes to course creation, it really is quite simple. The first things that I get people to do is to tap. Actually, if any of you are tappers, you'll understand about tapping, or you've been in my courses, you'll understand what tapping is. And I get people to bring up all the reasons they can't do what they want to do. So when course creating, it's one of the first things you want to do when you're bringing into your clients and things, is you want to ask them where they want to be. So I can't literally run through, I mean, I run a 6-week program of course creation. So it's 6 weeks where I literally step through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and we run through it. And every single person who I took through that program has now produced something incredible in their niche, which is awesome. So it really does work, and I make it very simple. But the first thing you need to do is not only ascertain your what and why, but then ask your clients to say, well, what and why, what do they want to, what do they want to actually get out of this program, and why? And it's one of the biggest things you can do. The next stage when you're running courses and things is to find a way to get rid of patterns of behavior. And I use EFT. Biggest thing to do is get them to learn EFT. So if anybody's worked on with me on courses, I teach them EFT. Then we teach them to clear out all their stuff, clear out everything. And then what I then teach you is I teach you how to know exactly what to teach. Because the biggest thing, I remember I signed up to this thing a couple of years ago now, 3 years ago, about course creation. I thought Courses Made Easy, and it looked like the most frigging difficult thing in the world. There was like 17 modules. I'm like, who has time to watch like 40 minutes, 17 modules of 40 minutes, and then do live calls twice a week? I literally almost gave up at the first hurdle. But what I went through it, but I just thought, this isn't easy. This isn't blowing my mind. And then I looked at it and went, it's all very simple. But what I think a lot of people feel they need to do is make things look more complicated than they are. And that's an ego thing as well, which is totally cool. So what I truly believe is to keep things really simple. And so when to find out, it's a very simple technique. I can't do it with you here and now, but it's a very simple technique, is to find out everything that you're good at, everything in the world you can possibly teach. And it's a short process of finding out everything you've ever done that's been useful, everything you've ever done that you found easy as well, every sort of thing that people have congratulated you on that you haven't even realized, everything you've succeeded at in life. We go through a whole list of them, and do that in a lot of programs I do, because especially when you want to find your purpose as well, when you're actually really trying to tune into what am I even here for, it's a really good place to start, is to know what you have actually succeeded at quite a lot already. And I think sometimes we need to remind ourselves of what we have done and what we have overcome, because courses don't have to be tricky. And I remember when I was first writing a course, I thought it was going to be on one thing, and then I actually thought, oh my goodness, one of the things I did really amazingly was get out of a narcissistic relationship. So one of the programs I did was how to free yourself from a toxic relationship. And that was one of the most successful courses I ever did, because it very basically taught the steps that I took to do that, plus a bit of the tools I knew and the modalities I had in order to help me. But it isn't what you might decide to help people with and teach them, might just be something that you have been able to overcome yourself. And you might just be a couple of steps down the road. So you don't have to know it all. In fact, if you did have it completely sussed and you were like, 25 miles ahead of somebody, they might not resonate with you at all. They're not where you are. So you actually need to be in a similar situation, but just a bit ahead. So when we're talking about creating programs and doing more like, one-to-one and one-to-one, one-to-many, it's called, whether you know that. So whenever it says, is it one-to-one or one-to-many, that's kind of how the lingo, if you like, what people talk about. You kind of figure out, okay, what am I really good at teaching? What can I teach about myself? What have I learned? What do I know and what have I done? Or what have I learned and I've not yet done, but I know it's the right thing and I want to go through it with people. Even Tony Robbins, right from the coaching king. I haven't done any of his course. I've done a little mini course of his, but like he will always say that even if you haven't done it yet, if you know it's right, you can actually you can be the reporter rather, you can actually say, well, I've read this book and I've learned the teachings of Aristotle. I can teach you Aristotle. I haven't necessarily done and lived everything yet, but I can teach you about it. So as long as people know where you're coming from, it's fine. If people want somebody who is, so for example, I years ago, I didn't even know I was going to do this sort of thing, but years ago I stood up for myself. When I had my first child, I was like, I'm not having any of this. I'm not being told what to do. As you might guess, I'm a little bit stubborn. So when a doctor said to me, right, I think you should do this, that doesn't feel right. So I actually went and became an advocate for women who wanted to have their say in their own birth. And that was really powerful. But because I wasn't, whereas at the time I was busy, I had my own business, I had a shoe shop and a coffee shop and a baby, and it was a single mom. But I was like, oh my God, even at that point, I was actually teaching these women just something I had just done. Now, because I was passionate about it. So it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be anything, you say, right, it doesn't have to be really, really big and global. It can be something that you have overcome. And especially when you want to start. So Lisa, you'll see her, I'm not sure if you'll see her. So Lisa Tai, so she had a real empty nesters thing. So she's an amazing EFT practitioner, but she was passionate about helping women whose kids had left home. And she was going all big, trying to do a whole big thing about, from feeling crap to feeling great. She couldn't quite get it. So she just literally started with the first step. And she's got loads of people who now want, because they're feeling what she's saying, that she's saying, have you just got the exams just come through and it's happening? She's talking to them in the way that she remembers how it feels when those letters drop and your kid's going to go. And she poured everything into her children. But what she realized is that she was as a child, she experienced bad parenting. So it wasn't just empty nesters, it was empty nesters who had crap parents who gave everything into parenting and had nothing else. And all of a sudden, she's now talking quite specifically to people who had crap parents or felt they had crap parents, so wanted to be better and wanted to only be parents and nothing else. But when their children left, they had nothing. And that's quite precise. But can you see how now it's like, rather than, oh, you're an empty nester, or are you, do you see the difference is that you're talking to less people, but more people, because you're talking to their hearts and minds. And that's one thing I help people with, is get clarity, believe it or not. So I'm massively great on helping people get clear on their next vision, even though that's probably the one thing that I'm not good at, which is utterly nuts. So do bear in mind that the thing you might help people with the most is the thing that you struggle with the most as well. I see a confidence coach, right? Believe it or not. And she sees a confidence coach because that's what she teaches. So she says, I have to be like totally ace on it. So it's really, really, really interesting. But you probably won't help people and coach people on things that you found easy. It will be something that you have overcome, and you've created tools and visions and ways in which to deal with that. You've overcome it, and you've then realized all the different steps. And creating a course is literally creating those steps to get from A to B. So it's not as difficult and it's not as convoluted. There is a process to it. So when I teach people how to create courses, we start with your stuff, like the stuff that you've not yet dealt with, about a lot of the imposter syndrome, I need to make sure everything's recorded. I need to make sure I know exactly what I'm doing. I'll come back to that in a minute. That's a big problem for a lot of people. They want to make it all ducks in a row. Another thing is, what the hell am I going to teach people? Like, there's either too much or not enough. I'm not an expert in anything. So we deal with all those issues that come up, because you will have loads you can teach. And then we just bash out everything. And literally within 15 minutes, you'll have a whole wall I'm a post-it note queen, in case you haven't seen all my post-it notes of all the things that I can teach. And I do it together with everybody I ever do, with massive session on everything that we can possibly teach. And then we filter it into an actual course. So it literally takes about an hour to work out what you're going to do. And then I show you how to write hooks, which is a really simple process. It's literally dot to dot. But it's a process, again, that I've learned from some amazing marketers like James Wedmore, amazing guy who teaches you how to actually quite specifically write a hook that will appeal to people who you want to help. And I just literally teach you that because it's so great and it makes it so easy. It's literally dot to dot of how to create that. And then you literally put it all together, and we put it all together. And it's incredible. And if you're an EFTer or EFT trained or matrix trained, I then show you how to use past life regression and EFT as part of a group program, which I find really powerful. I'm not a trainer in EFT. I've chosen not to be. But if you ever do train to be a trainer in EFT, if you ever do train to be an EFT practitioner, or you actually don't need to be matrix, to be fair, but then I can show you how to very simply use EFT in a group setting. It's genius what I've created, to be honest. It's utter genius, and it works, and it's so powerful. There's again a really simple protocol to go through that anybody can do. You just need to know what to do. Same with past life. So I do group past life regression, and I also teach group past life regression as well. So anybody who's done EFT or NLP, don't have to have done EFT, I can then teach you how the simplest way to get everybody within a group back to past life regression without having any ab reactions. It's just amazing. And that took a lot of trial and error for me to work out, because I love it so much. And I had a lot of people come to me for past life regressions. And so I thought this can be done in a group, because everything can be done in a group. And the power of the group with past life stuff means that people don't feel so stupid, or that can't be real. They don't, they don't kind of go, well, that I'm just making that up, because people one-to-one think they've just made it up. That's a story. Whereas when they hear other people's stuff, they go, oh, it's probably real then. That probably is what happened, in another life and things. But so it's very, very powerful. So, but the benefit to doing courses is you get to have the life that you want, and you get to run it around the life that you have. And you kind of, depending on how you market it and depending on how clear you get and depending on how you want to run things, in January I actually ran 2 courses together, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend. It was an interesting challenge, but and it generated for me just over £22,000, and that was two courses. It was only 21 people. Because off the back of one of those programs, I then taught past life regression, which most of the practitioners decided to do. I just did it. I did it it wasn't too expensive. And then they're also part of an academy where we all share our stories and stuff each month, and it's absolutely just golden. So, and everybody most people. I haven't had one person who said that was crap, I'd like my money back. No one said that, and most people have got quite a lot out of it. So the freedom then is that if I then go, oh God, I'm pooped, or recently just discovered I'm pregnant, so I can go, oh my God, I need a week off because I can't even say my own name without dribbling. It doesn't matter because I can still pay the bills. Does that make sense? So it's not all about money, but it is about what money buys you, and money buys you freedom, and money buys you peace of mind. And especially at the moment when all you hear all over Facebook and social media is how nobody can afford to buy heating and food, and they're buying into lack massively, and fear, as we all know, that's what that is. But it's ever more important that we help people get out of that. And it's if you're not in that as well. So if you're actually able to create a life where that isn't even a thing for you, and weirdly, that's why I'm helping more people with the money stuff, not because I've got my mansion in the hills yet, but because I can see it. And also I can see how the impact it's having on the world living in this lack mentality. So it's actually quite uncomfortable, because I've done loads of money work, like we say, Marion, loads of money work, still loads more to do, but it is a challenge, but it's a good uncomfortable challenge for me to keep doing, because it's such important work to do. And actually I couldn't decide whether I was going to help people find their purpose, deal with their money blocks, or do course creation. And that's why I'm doing all three, because I feel with all three you can go from not having a blooming clue what to do to creating their own business, so with a big group of people. And yeah, so I am passionate about course creation and running your own business. I mean, does everybody here run their own business? Does everybody here work for themselves? Yeah. Okay. And is course creation just a thing you haven't been able to quite figure out yet, or is it something you not really sure about, or what would you say would be a biggest block?
I have done quite a lot of work on it, and I have kind of got various courses mapped out. For me, it's just having the confidence to actually do it.
Yeah, sure. Cool.
Okay. Take that step.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, totally. Yeah. The biggest thing with courses as well is that a lot of people get shocked with is that you don't you sell it before you write it. Does that make sense? So you don't write the whole program. You don't write what you're going to do until you've got people there. And a lot of I want to, but I don't know what to niche. Well, there we go. I do for anybody who comes and signs up to my programs, I do like a bonus week of the Know Your Niche. I've done it twice now. You can have a look at that as well if you want, Jackie. But we do a real drill down into niching and what yours is. But that comes along as well when you start writing all the things that you are good at, that you can teach, and you look at the people you enjoy working with, you start to be able to niche down. And it's actually a mental block. It was one thing I really struggled with, is niching. I still need to do better at it, to be honest, as well. But yeah, what you say, Marion? What you say?
Yeah, niching is a thing for me too. I'm kind of got to a point where I'm happy with what the niche I'm working with, but I'm sure I could do with some more clarity on my core message.
Yeah.
But I don't struggle with writing courses. That comes easy to me. Yeah. But the last one I tried this thing of write it as you go. It was a nightmare.
Really?
I felt so stressed.
Did you? Okay. All right. Okay.
Because it's for me, it's much easier to write the course and tweak it as I go if I need to.
Yeah,
but, I can't not have it to be every week. My whole week was spent kind of like writing the next section.
Okay. I suppose the way that I would teach it is that you have your outline, like you're not rocking up and saying, well, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, I had the outline, but to fill the content in was sure.
Yeah,
I mean, when I said I'd written one, it's like I've got an outline, like chapter headings kind of thing. But I think you do have to be flexible with it and responsive to kind of what's working within the group. And
I think the first time you do one, like for instance, the first time you do it is the hardest time you're ever going to do it, because you're creating the content and you think, okay, actually that went down really well. Oh, I probably wouldn't bring that in next time. And you start teaching something that, oh, I'm not sure about that now. Okay. And then actually you're seeing everyone's going a way that you didn't see because you're ahead of them. And so it's being able to adapt. And then if you've ever done on my courses, I do mini videos. So people who watch the coaching, it's about an hour and a half, isn't it, at a time, and not everyone wants to rewatch that. So I pick the key points, and straight after I finish videoing, I go and do the key points on video. Now, because I'm me, I don't even edit the videos. I just put them straight up. I don't worry about that. And actually, I believe that that's a really cool thing. If you want to edit them and have someone to do it, that's great. But I know that brings me no joy. and then I wouldn't do the videos. So I think it depends how you want to show up, but I believe showing up quite raw and as I am.
Because I do my stuff live.
Absolutely. But what's great is if you can create little videos after you've done live, then what you can do, you see, is the next time you run the course, you can, so what I'm doing next time with the Life on Purpose, all the courses, the videos are released first, so they get a chance to work on the stuff before the call. So then when the calls come, they've been doing it a little bit already, and actually there's less work to do in the call. And the Q&A then, rather than having I do the call on one day, the Q&A on another day, that's now one day. So all of a sudden my effort being put in is about half the time. But I've already got all the content written, everything's done. So the next time you run it, it's really a lot easier. Yes, there's a lot. I love running mine live too. I love running live things, but you have a certain element of it that isn't, and that really benefits clients because
so the videos, when you say you make videos afterwards, is that just you speaking on certain things, or are you taking excerpts of recorded
if we've had a discussion about, like, say we've been discussing the universal laws, and we've gone quite deep into cause and effect and the law of oneness and things like that. Say we've been doing that, for example, I would then do a really quick synopsis on each one. So I spend like 4 minutes. I'd go blah, 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 just because if they want to watch the whole thing, they can watch the whole thing. But this gives a really brief synopsis on what on what I talked about. And I do it straight after, because if I don't, I'll forget.
Yeah, you lose it.
You also have done like
but it's a separate thing. It's not an excerpt from the actual.
No, I literally sit there with my video camera, play, stop. I quickly put it in. I make sure it's less than 10 minutes, otherwise I have to edit it, and then I go in there. So yeah, no, it's not just for that reason. It's also because then people can quickly watch them on their phone and things.
Yeah, and I like the idea of a synopsis.
Yeah, it works.
The last I ran, I actually did a written synopsis, and sent it out as an email. But the video would be great, because then ultimately those also become a mini course, a pre-recorded mini course.
But that's what I mean. So like every time you do it, you're adding to the same program, and all of a sudden, so what will happen is maybe not this time, but the next time. So by the third time you've done it, you're then you then can just have people come in anytime. You'll still be doing your weekly calls, but people can run through the course at their own leisure, and you can pick a thing to do, so you could actually start doing it. So you don't have just one launch of a course every quarter. You could actually have it rolling. And then
and individual ones become good teasers, marketing teasers.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And what you can do is, with every video you do, if you then put it on YouTube as an unlisted on YouTube, YouTube will automatically transcribe everything you do if you want it to. So then you then copy and paste that, put that in, and there you go. So you've not only got video, you've got word content as well. So yeah, it's that was a top tip. I teach you how to do that as well. So yeah, so there's really great ways to do it, but ultimately it's very, very simple.
I've never had a problem with courses, but the content, but it's the marketing that gets me.
Yeah, and the marketing, it's once you really drill down, it becomes easier. And once you kind of once you start using your story and things like that, that's when it gets really personal, and who you're talking to and things like that. And marketing is like, there are marketing gurus out there who I could tell you where to go, because I'm not a marketing guru by any stretch.
I think my biggest problem has been that I didn't really use social media very much. So I didn't have a big enough presence and following to be, so I wasn't talking to anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've been trying to build that. I haven't done enough yet.
No, well, a great way of doing that is by using a hook to a free workshop. That's how I built up my whole everybody who comes in. I literally, okay, so in order to get here, my hooks were unclear. So I tried something new because I like doing new shiny things that and what I didn't have was clarity, which is one thing I think, so I didn't have, because it was basically, I found out I was pregnant as well, just as I was in the middle of writing it. So, I'm going to do something really like fancy, pregnant. So, but I know I wanted to do something. I got quite clear on something, but I didn't write my hooks very well, in my opinion. But I thought, do you know what? I'm going to roll with it. Why not? Let's do it all on Facebook Live. Let's just do something completely different. And let's try and talk about every single thing I do in 3 days. Why not? Because that's the joy of having your own business. It's fun, and you might make mistakes and you might get it, but do you know what, like it was lovely because Rachel said earlier on, oh my god, Monday spoke to me. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic, because that's what I'm here for. So I don't mind how many people turn up, so I don't care how many followers I've got, in all honesty. That doesn't make any difference to how successful you're going to be, because you could have a closed audience of 200 or 150 people in a group, and they will keep coming back if they like you. Do you know that, like,
I see my group was completely dormant. I hadn't posted in it for years.
And then
it was that bad.
Yeah, so literally archive it and start a new one. But the way you get people in is to set up a hook. There's loads of tricks I'll teach you to do. I can teach you to do in it, but then it's also so you want to set up a hook and get a free thing that you want to offer. Some people do PDFs.
I've got a free, but it's an ebook.
So try different things. So see, so you want to
it's time for me to do something that interact. So I think must do a free workshopy thing on that.
And and then now I teach you how to do this sort of thing. So all the stuff, Sarah, I was doing on my own admin and then just hate it. So Sarah's a VA, so she started her own business. So I now use Sarah to do all my admin because I absolutely hate it, and it's actually stopping me from doing more stuff. Because I hated the admin so much, I was like, I'll just leave it, because I didn't want to have to set it all up. But actually Sarah's an absolute whiz, so that's why I thought, no, I'm going to outsource something I don't like so I can do the things in my genius zone. But also using your own personal profiles rather than business profiles and stuff like that. There's just little tips and tricks that you can use.
My personal profile was very personal. I have since started to expand that a little bit, but I'm still.
If I tell you what I did, you'd probably shake your head at me in shame. I deleted my whole family off my Facebook profile.
I've done the same, to be honest.
My problem with that is it's the only way I have staying in contact with nieces and nephews in foreign countries.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just, but then get them to like your stuff. So if you want your answer.
It was the coach that I'm working with said to me, well, why wouldn't you want them to see your stuff?
Yeah.
And I thought, okay.
Yeah, like
and now I've just got to remember to put my stuff out there.
Yeah, but you know something, it really is, that's habit and that's pattern. That's just a pattern forming thing. So then, and what we'll do, if you see me say really great at writing courses, it's not just about course creation, is not just about writing a course. It's about understanding who you truly serve and actually how to make it work for you, because it's all very well doing it, but if you're hating it and it's killing you, and actually you're trying to follow this person, do what they do and things like that, it just like, it won't work. Like a lot of people said to me, oh, well, how do you work at night? It's just because if you'd see me in the morning, I mean, some people have the joy of having a session with me in the morning. I'm lucky if I'm even dressed before 11. So I literally do my work. I work from bed if possible in the mornings, and sometimes I have to be out and stuff because I home ed my kids. They go and get on with their stuff. We just kind of chill in the morning, and we work quite late. So because that suits my world, it doesn't suit everybody. So
I'm also a night person. So it was actually, So I realized the other day that if I run a workshop in my early evening, it's the same. It's an hour's difference between me and you.
Yeah.
Which means for half of Europe, it's also an hour's difference. For other part of Europe, this time zone is exactly the same.
Yeah.
And in America, it's either afternoon or morning.
Yeah. So you'd be fine.
So yeah, the only problem is Australia, and I only know the only people I know in Australia at this stage are my family anyway. So
yeah, but honestly, so I signed up to a program in Australia, and I had to stay up to 11 o'clock, and I did because I wanted to. So she picked her time.
Yeah, working at night is fine for me, but I'm saying my early evening, I would cover most of the people, the market that I would be reaching out to.
The point is that you actually want to work how it suits you, not how it suits your potential customer.
Yeah, whether running a workshop in the evening is fine for me.
Yeah. So so it's you know, it's not just about, because writing a course, I believe, is probably the simplest thing to course creation in the world. I think that's the simplest bit, and once you nail it, you could like churn them out all the time. It's not about writing the course, it's about everything else around it that stops you, the beliefs you've got, the money shit does come into it, and actually if you want to run it, the last time I run this was specifically for EFTers. So I taught them how to do past life regression and EFT within a group setting. So that's one of the things I actually included in it, because I thought it was so powerful. And I took them through it all. So I actually took them through how I run courses for other people, for the practitioners, and that's how they got the power of it as well. So I was showing them what I do. I gave them access to my live courses as well, so they could actually see how it all works, and it's all very simple, but yeah, and then it's more about and also they actually have bought each other's courses as well, which is just a side note. They've actually enrolled to each other's courses as well, because it's the universe is a funny old thing. It brings people together for what we all need, doesn't it? So they've now kind of invested in each other, which is, I think, just amazing. And they use each other as one-to-one practitioners. They pay for sessions with each other as well. But yeah, so a big thing, we drill down a lot more. I do a know your niche thing. Jackie, if you wanted that, I've done that a couple of times, the know your niche masterclass, which I can send you if you want. But I do that anyway each time, just because my knowledge gets more as well. And then we go straight into, like, the first thing we do is learn about future self and manifesting. I do that with everybody, wherever you're at, because it's really important to know why you're even here. Yeah, cool. Okay, Jackie. What I'll do is I'll give you access to all my master classes, and then you can just pick the know your niche ones. That might be the easiest thing to do. Or I'll send you the YouTube. I'll see where I've got it. I can't remember where I put it now, so I'll get it for you anyway. So yeah, so we need to know where we actually want to get to, and a lot of the reasons why we start a business is all the practical stuff, but actually it's the desires behind it. So I really lean heavily into that. And again, if you've ever done any courses with me, it's one of the biggest things we do right in the beginning, and it's one thing I would always recommend people do when they write courses as well, is get really clear on the future, or the now, in a different timeline, or whatever you want to call it. It's really important to know what people's desires are, I would say. But yeah, so I'm passionate about courses, and I'm just so passionate about them and programs, but everyone's doing them. So it's it's now more important than ever to know what you do and who you serve. And the best way to find that out is to find out what you enjoy. And so it's getting really clear on who you enjoy working with, who are your last 3 favorite clients. That's one of the best ways. Who is it who likes you? Who do you go, yes, they're the people? And it might surprise you, because I always thought I wanted to work with people who were damaged after relationships. And then when I looked at all my favorite clients, I'm like, well, that's not them. My favorite clients are not them. My favorite clients are people who are just starting out in business and have got passion, but just no direction and clarity. They're the people I want to help. I was like, well, that doesn't. I was totally thrown that they were the people I actually enjoyed serving. I used to, a couple of people came to me with like autoimmune issues and things, and whilst I don't enjoy that work. I find it there's a lot of psychological reversal and things like that. Actually, yeah, I can do it, but I'm not a very, I don't like, I don't like arguing and confrontation, and I found that that wasn't somewhere I felt drained after it. And so I found somebody who was amazing at autoimmune issues and did big 6-month programs to help people, with that. And I thought, oh, that's great, that's her genius. So it's okay not enjoying part of some of the work you will get offered. It's understanding that saying no is really powerful, and being okay to think, I just didn't enjoy that. That wasn't me. That didn't sing to me. Because when you get the clients, you must know, when you get the clients, you're like, oh, wow, I'm good at this, is what I was made to do. That's your people, and you will be surprised sometimes at who they are. I was totally shocked. I love working with therapists and practitioners. I just love it, because I just really genuinely do, because I suppose because I was really struggling a couple of years ago, not knowing what the hell to do with all my lovely qualifications. And I'm like, well, yeah, now what? And I was so stuck for a while, like, what am I meant to do with all this? Like, it's just massive in my head. And so I suppose probably because I wanted that bit of my journey was one of the hardest bits, because I'd done all the work. I'd done loads, not all the work, but I'd done loads of healing. I'd done loads of stuff on myself, and now I'm here and I'm stuck. So like, that doesn't seem very fair. So I think I really enjoy helping people pass that part. But yes, it surprised me. So you might be surprised at who you get a real kick out of working with, and it's okay to get a kick out of working with some people and not others. Yeah, tap 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 tap. If you're a tapper,
yeah, no, that's
I had to tap on going, So it's yeah. So are you? I know that you're. So how did you come across me out of interest? I know Rachel, you was through Tom, wasn't it? Was it through Tom Hicken or not?
No, it was. I was in the EFT and Matrix re-imprinting group. I posted in there. Yeah,
I did. So cool. Yeah, cool. How did you hear about?
Probably also where I came across you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. I think, and Sarah was from a different. It was right back at the beginning when I was doing narcissistic relationship stuff. I think we were in similar groups then on Facebook. So other people's groups, when you're giving free workshops, you're not selling anything. You're offering, remember, like when you offer somebody something, you're not being a sleazy salesperson. You're saying, I can help. I'm really good at what I do.
Yeah, that's I don't have a problem with that one.
Yeah, and lots of, when we sell, we think, oh, it's a bit icky. You think, no, like, I don't have a right to keep this to myself, is what I have to tell myself. I don't have a right to not let people be healed, because that's not up to me. This is my purpose of being. Therefore, I'm going to shout from the rooftops and pissing people off. I don't really care, because the people who aren't pissed off and the people who go, thank you, that's who matters. The people who are pissed off can just ignore me. So, and that's kind of, bear in mind, I'm an ex-car salesperson. So I was like, it's just a bit like, I didn't do it in the way everyone else did it. But I sold mainly to women, to be honest. And they all told their grannies about me and things like that, because I used to sell them the car they wanted, not the one I wanted them to buy. So I got amazing reputation for actually being honest. And it went down very, so it was the most bizarre thing in the world. But so for me, sales, I had to retrain my brain that sales wasn't icky. It's actually just telling people, giving people the opportunity to work with you. And then again, like Jackie says, when you know what your niche, like when you really get clear, you have like a duty to tell people about what you do. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, that I've worked through the sales stuff.
Cool.
So that there's probably more to do, but that's not the initial block. I think clarity is listening to you. I've realized clarity is my main thing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's room for improvement on the other blocks, but the biggest one is clarity.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, people don't, if people don't know what you're doing exactly, they like roughly what you do. And like I say, clarity is one of my biggest issues for me, but I I'm a whiz at finding clarity for other people.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, so like, yeah, so I can, if I can have like a session with myself, I'd be totally fine. So I said that to AJ. He was like, oh my god, like what is wrong, really? But he's actually my partner's actually bought, he paid for, because I don't do any free sessions for anybody like that, he paid for a clarity session with me because he wanted to know where his next step was, because he wants to break out. He's a yoga instructor, does all these cool things, but he's still working for the man and doesn't want to do it anymore. So he's like, can I have a session with you? I'm like, yeah, right, let's go for it. So, and then now he's off doing what he wants to do now. So it paid him dividends. But yeah, he wanted an actual proper session, a clarity coaching session. So that was cool. So we had a smash it session, which he loved. So that's cool. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So clarity is key, because people, if they're a little bit unsure, just don't. They very rarely, if they're not sure, that they want to, they know exactly what you're doing, they either won't or it will take you a lot more effort. So that's why, in all honesty, when I talk about my programs and stuff, I find coming into Zoom rather than Facebook is an amazing way, because I get people then know how I operate and think, well, actually she could probably help me learn these things because I like the way she operates. Even I'm not entirely sure why I've signed up, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get something from it. But clarity, that the clearer you can get, the more kind of absolute laser focused you can get. And the easier life is. And the biggest thing someone told me was, you can always change your mind. So like, if you actually say, I want to work with these people solving this problem because this, and so they can have that, and then you don't like it, you just change, you just shift. That's it. And some people will just enjoy what you do, so will stay with you, and other people go, oh, okay, that's fine. It is okay to change your mind, and that's the beauty of having your own business.
I've changed my mind many times.
But yeah, I mean, I can show you loads of ways to get to your person, to get to your niche, to get to what you truly desire. And they won't all work, and some of them will, but I've got loads of different ways that I use as well. Yeah, but also remember that changing mind can also be a self-sabotage as well. So it's understanding sabotages and things. And a big thing is, when you do course creation, you do get influxes, quite large amounts of money, right? And it's understanding that in itself can put you off doing it again. Your brain, unless you've done the real capacity work, sometimes we can completely sabotage ourselves when we earn more money than we think we should earn or have earned before. So I know that sounds really insane.
No, I get you on that one. I think I would be surprised if that was a big issue for me.
No, cool, absolutely. And I was surprised. I was very surprised. I think it was the comments and little things, and I thought, yeah, why would I be surprised? But then, yeah, I went and absolutely sabotaged myself with it, 100%. So I'm just saying, there's certain things is watching out for, and that's why it's quite nice to do it as part with more people, because other things can come up and you can think, oh, okay, my capacity, and a lot of the videos I do and things, you can actually rewatch them and get more another slant from them. So when I always talk about capacity is a massive part of receiving and being able to accept more, and it's a huge part that we don't always remember to do, is about receiving things. So yeah. But so far, has anybody got any other questions so far? I don't want to keep it, it's quite late, isn't it? I don't want to go in too long. Has anybody got any questions about whether they feel that they would be ready to sort of put a foot into creating something to put out there?
Well, I think I need to get to grips with the one-to-ones first. It's definitely, you know, in my plan for further down the line, but I just want to, at the moment, I don't want to overwhelm myself, as we talked about earlier. I just want to you know, get a few one-to-one clients and then just see how it builds and how it grows, and like you say, find out what my niche is through working with clients, you know. And although I've got a few ideas about what my niche might be,
Yeah.
You know, I think it's when you're actually working with people, you get more of an idea, maybe.
Yeah, you do. And you can, you don't need to do it for too long, I wouldn't say. It depends, because it depends on what time you've got as well. So the only, it's great to have a roster of like one-to-ones, but then make sure you create the time to do the other things as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'd only be able to do 1 or 2 a day probably, because I home educate as well, and you know, I've got to fit it all around, and I've got other work that I do as well. So
yeah, and also you need to then be able to do self-development with, you know, building a business, so you have to be able to create it. It's just making sure that you don't completely fill up with one-to-ones. But one-to-ones are powerful. Or like one lady, she's got this Natasha Lee Bray, she's from Wales. She's created her own heart connection modality, and she charges £2,200 per session.
Wow.
So,
yeah. And that's all about beliefs as well, isn't it? Because I know the people that do these
a lot of self-belief,
and they charge like 200-250 for a session.
And my smash it sessions I do with practitioners to get total clarity on what their next move is. I charge £195 for. No one, because they're complete, and literally they're the best testimonials I've got. Like I was saying about when it comes to pricing courses and things, cheaper isn't always better.
No, I know. And I'm thinking, because I'm starting out, I've got to price it quite low, and this is all,
you will grow into your money boots.
Hey,
my worst, the clients that were like always asked to split the cost of a session, that always didn't pay first, and it was like they were, when I was charging like £40 a session, they were like the hardest work, and they didn't commit, and sometimes they'd be late and they wouldn't show up. But when I said, right, there's your 75-minute window, you cannot turn up for 15 minutes if you mind that, but that's your time, not mine. You paid for this slot, but that's the slot I can give you. So if you're late, that's up to you, not me. And it's setting boundaries and things, but the minute people have to pay up front and they have to sort of invest, the transformations are absolutely out of this world.
It's that energy.
And remember also that the lower the fee, the less people value it.
Exactly. And the more of them you need.
Didn't you say, Lucy, that you used to you wouldn't do just one single session? I know you do the thing now, but you used to make them sign up for like a block of 4 or whatever.
So I do the smash it sessions now because I love it. And it's like, and I just do you know what? It's because I'm an absolute queen at getting clarity for people. Clarity for healer practitioners, people who have their own business. That's where the power is. I wouldn't do it for somebody who wanted clarity on their relationship necessarily. It's that different mindset. So because so it's one thing that's block over. We can absolutely smash it through.
So, and do you use the EFT and matrix within that session?
Sometimes,
right?
Sometimes,
not
all the time. No, I mean, I find I'm massively, so the more I've done this, yes, I use EFT a lot, but the more I've done this, my intuition is like absolute boss. So I don't remember a lot of what I've spoken about most of the time. In all honesty, I don't remember the messages I've given or the advice I've given, because it's not really mine. It's just most things I do are things that I've felt the calling to do. And so the more I lean into that, I do often do tapping because it helps the energy move. So most of the time when I'm chatting to people, I'm tap, 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 because I feel it's really helpful to find a point to tap and just do that while we chat, tap and chat, and we just chat about what's going on. And sometimes we do delve into matrix. I mean, straightforward EFT is great for groups, and the matrix is really great for one-to-ones.
Why is matrix not as good in groups?
It's not as good in groups. It's just the possibility for ab reactions, in my opinion, is higher. That's all I would say, because you're going in and it's easy, it's harder to, I do it in past life. So I do past life. I can't call it matrix. So I call it, because it's matrix is like a brand, if you like, but past life regressions, when we go into those moments in time, is different. That works really well as a group.
But how is that different? Because it's
because
not as immediate, the emotional stuff.
Yeah, like, so if you're going into a younger version of you, slightly off peak. Anybody who's not EFT, so really sorry. So we go, you go to a younger version of you. Say you go to like an abuse when you were 2, and you've got lots of other people, you're going to need one-to-one on that, because that's going to be something that's quite recent, that's actually you're going to need to, you quite easily react from there. But when you go to a past life, I haven't yet had it where I couldn't deal with the reactions.
Okay.
So you more than, I just wouldn't recommend it, but I'm sure the powers that be wouldn't recommend some of the things I do, but I've trialed them and I've done them and they work and it's beautiful. So you have to be in this, I think, in this world, if you need to push things the next level all the time, like healing can happen on, people who came up with EFT and Matrix just came up with an idea and ran with it. And it has
evolved as well, hasn't it, over the years?
Yeah, like Matrix is nothing to do now with EFT, really. It's a completely, if you watch when people do Matrix, they very rarely tap when they're in it. So it's a very different thing.
Yeah. When I use Matrix, I get my clients to squeeze their fingertips, because a lot of stuff now with, I do online, and sometimes and even in person stuff with the whole COVID thing, I sit on the other side of the room from them. I don't sit, so I don't want to be tapping on them. And I find for myself, when I'm in the Matrix processing, the tapping is very disruptive.
Yeah, me too.
So it's much easier to squeezing my fingers is easier. It's less disruptive than the facial stuff.
So we tend to find that, and if you want to tap on that echo or that version, you can do that. But I mean, I think actually now I prefer doing all sessions online, if I'm honest. So I think I did everything
online.
Pardon?
I love working online.
I absolutely adore doing online sessions. And when I was training, it was like, oh my God, you do it online? That's weird. And I absolutely love it now. The freedom is amazing.
I intend to do all mine online, just for the convenience of it,
but even people local to me, I do it online, unless they're in it. The only time is if they're in abusive relationships. So when I first started, there's people in very, very abusive relationships, and they had to like sneak out, and so I would create a space in my home for them. But that's not what I do much now. I do a little bit of it, to be fair, but not so much. But that's the only time when they needed a safe space to be able to process what they were going through and to be able to actually make those moves to leave. So that was fun. I enjoyed doing that because that's where I had been. Like I say, I'm going to be starting to run those 3 different programs really, really soon, and they're kind of going to be rolling. So although you can come in and learn all the things, and we'll do the course creation one is like 6 weeks plus the know your niche, and then we meet up, and I do a live session and everybody meets up, and then you have the opportunity to go into the other programs, or if you're a practitioner, you can join what I call the academy, where all practitioners come together once a month and we just discuss what's working. We actually you put 4 of your sessions into the pot each year, and you draw out 4 sessions each year. So actually you're getting healing from somebody it might be a different modality and everything, but so to keep your, it's not a swap session. You're actually choosing your practitioner. You get 4 sessions, but you also put your 4 sessions in as well. And you say what you're really good at or who you help the best and things like that. But then we meet on the first Monday of every month to discuss what's happening and what's working, and marketing things, as well as different things that are happening within the industry, if you like. So it's a really great kind of it's really like everyone loves it. So everybody who's done any of my course creation stuff automatically goes and signs up for that, because it's like, I think it's like 40 quid a month, 40 quid a month for the academy, and then all the free training and stuff. So Anyway, if you would like to have a chat with me about the course creation thing, just let me know and we can have a chat about it further. And or if you want me to send you anything, let me know. But I'm more than happy to have like a 20-minute chat to see if any of the things that I offer you would like to be part of or not. So that's cool too.
Thank you.
No problem at all. I will, Jackie, you want to know your niche? I will get that to you. I will be uploading the things to YouTube from last night and I will post that to you as well. Is there any questions you've got, Jackie, at all?
No, thanks, Lucy. I think
cool.
you've covered everything. As I said, I've got a lot of modalities, and exactly what you've said. I've started off with one, a passion, and within a couple of weeks thought, I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate dealing with people dealing with this.
Yeah.
And people keep saying, well, whatever's brought you in, use, but no.
Right, I'm gonna my daughter
right,
needs so I'm gonna go. Thank you very much, Lucy.
No worries. Yeah, Jackie, in all honesty, what brought me in, right, was my body was giving up on me. So I had terrible lower back pain. I was getting very allergic to a lot of foods. I was in this horrific marriage and my body, I was in pain. From somebody who hates the pharmaceutical industry and I hate hospitals.
I think we're so alike. That's why I come in, because I was told I was going to die.
Yeah.
And I was literally given boatloads of medication.
Yeah.
So I come away, I'm the world's worst for denigrating doctors because they don't help me whatsoever. So
Yeah.
I'm literally trying through nutrition and alternative remedies, and that's my passion. But trying to get other people, as I said, I'm the world's worst anyway, because I'm great for a while and then I'll come off and I'll just literally.
But just because that's brought you in, what I was saying, just because, like, so mine was physical pain. So I actually did a lower back pain course. It was amazing. It didn't light me up.
Yeah.
It didn't. It was amazing. Like, it seriously was out of this world, the work I put in. Then I did a weight loss course. Well, do you know what? I've had eating disorders. I'll do weight loss course.
Yeah, I know. I've done it.
So what I'm saying is, they're the things that brought me in, but they're not now what I'm doing. So, don't feel that just because that was just your way into understanding what your purpose is. It doesn't mean that that's it now. Like I say, I never thought when I was when at the beginning of the year and I was teaching practitioners, like people who've been doing the job longer than me, some of them are doing it 10 years, but still had lost their way a bit. I was like, oh my God, like, this isn't what I thought I was going to be doing. And yet it was a random flip idea I had. I thought, oh my God, maybe other therapists and EFT practitioners aren't running programs and they want to run courses. They want me to show them how to do it. And they all said, yes, that was it. So it wasn't that it was it was a tuning into my intuition and trusting that and running with it.
Well, to tell you the truth, Lucy, I seem to get people that's got anxiety, but everybody seems to, but that's what I seem to attract, is people with depression and anxiety. But my first thing that I do is talk about nutrition and their gut health. It's my passion. It's an absolute passion, because that's what I study the most, is gut health, how it relates from your gut to your brain.
Yeah, the thing is though, that's how we'll go into we can go into this a bit deeper, but a lot of us, me included, can be guilty of is talking about how we help them, not who we help. So once you've figured out who you want to help, how you do it, like,
well, that's the point. It's who do I target? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so exactly. And then it doesn't matter how, no, it doesn't matter. But I used to talk about tapping all the time. And I thought, well, nobody really gives a shit how I help them. They just want it to go.
Yes.
So they don't mind how it goes. They really don't mind if I wave a magic wand. They just don't want to feel like this anymore. So often I don't talk about the how, it's the transformation at the end and who I want to help. So when you get clear on that, then yeah, then everything else, then you'll talk about then all you'll start talking about is the outcomes. You'll talk about the pain they're in and the outcome they're going to have. Because everything else, you talking about gut health, I go, oh, fuck's sake, some people. But they're already bought into your program because you can tell them that the outcome is X. They'll go, oh, well, I'm here now. Even if they don't want to talk about gut health, because they've got a block around it or something, like, I don't know. Oh, it's not my nutrition, I'm genuinely sick. Okay, but you're also sick because of your mind as well, you know, it's all these things. But if you try telling people, yeah, your mind is making you sick, they'll just think you're a bit nuts and not come anywhere near you. If you say, actually, I can help you go from A to B, that's all they care about. It took me a while to get my head around that nobody cared how.
Righty-ho.
So don't worry about, all your modalities are wonderful. They're not what they're how you get them there. They're not who you serve at all.
Yeah. I think I just need somebody to give me a kick up the backside, basically.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. You ask everybody who works with me, or my own family, to be fair.
I'm brilliant at helping others, but I'm crap at helping myself.
Yeah, basically. But then that's why we're all here to help each other. Like like I said, like I get clarity so easily for everybody else. It's the one thing that I have to have loads of coaching on.
Yeah.
Is my clarity. So it's really insane. But so we know how important it is if it's something we struggle with as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so well, get in touch, Jackie, because I can either do like one of these 90-minute sessions, which is really amazing, or you can come and join the next program if you wanted to as well. But give me a shout and we can have a chat if you want. We can book in like a 20-minute chat and see what you want to do. If you want to do
Oh, okay, thanks, Lucy.
Let me know. But yeah, Marion, it'd be great. Yeah, great to have your feedback as well. If there's anything you want from me in the future, let me know.
Yeah, it will be in the future because, sorry, my phone's falling over. Yeah, because the South African rand is not very, the exchange rate is appalling.
Is it really? Ugh.
Yeah, it's like about 19 or 20 rand to £1.
Right, okay. What's it usually?
Oh, it's been like that for a long time. But what I'm saying is that when I traveled back in the 70s and after I left varsity, it was two rand to the pound.
Oh my gosh, no way. That's nuts.
So over the years, but anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, so I have to up my income before I can pay for things in pounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if it's something that you think you would like to do, just put it out there to the universe and say, I want to do this and make it happen. That's how when I want to do something, that's what I do. And if it's right for me, it'll make it happen. That's why I'm not really a hard seller. If you want to work with me, you'll know it's right now, you know it's right later. That's totally up to you. And I'm not here purely to sell stuff to people. I love it when people come and work with me, but I equally love connecting and as well. So it's all good. So but yeah, absolutely. But literally keep the channels of communication open there, Marion, and anything I can do, or you want to just keep it all open, and that'd be great.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I've enjoyed these 3 days. I'm also doing your money challenge.
Oh, crap, I'll do that now. I forgot to do that this morning. Yeah. Yeah. Are you doing it? How are you finding it?
I'm following it more than actually doing it in detail, but it's making me, definitely that thing to have a specific goal is already working. I found money's from unexpected sources that started arriving. So I'm looking pretty close to meeting my money goal for the month.
Amazing. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
and track it. Always track it as well. All the little things I do on there, like the hidden treasures and stuff, and tracking money, where it's coming from, tracking being bought a coffee and things like that. It's really important. Like write it down, because we often don't realize what's coming in, and so we're asking for more, and it's like we've already got it because you got bought a meal that was a value of 40 quid the other day, and you haven't shown that in your So yeah, tracking what you receive in money and tracking what you receive in value is really, really cool, really important.
What I'm busy with at the moment is more tracking the support that I get just because I ask for help.
Amazing.
Where there's no monetary value, immediate monetary value.
But there is, if you say,
when I say that,
yeah,
it's money that I don't have to spend buying a service.
Yeah. So what you do is you then add that attach a value to that. So like when I've been bought a dinner, when someone's bought me a coffee, I then go, well, that cost them £2.75. Therefore, I put that in my value column of I've received £2.
For me, it's where there's been a couple of things where people have said, well, I need a testimonial, and so I've got something, or I've swapped a session with somebody in order for their expertise. But it's also things like I had a flat battery and my neighbor came and push started my car for me.
Yeah, so you could say, well, if I'd had to go to a garage, or if I'd had to pay for that, roughly how much would it be? And then you just so you can track roughly. It's receiving in sort of in a universal energy state, rather than saying, oh, that was an hour here, and it's trying to track, well, how much is that? What's the value of that in money terms? And then then everything you receive is on the same playing field, isn't it, energetically? That's why it's quite good to. But yeah, that's great. Track everything you receive is so important. So that's good. I'm glad you're enjoying the challenge. I'll go and quickly do the video for today. I was very tired this morning. So yeah, but
well, I was amazed that you were running both together. So yeah,
I know, it's nuts. Yeah, I do tend to go all in, and yeah, well, as well, I forgot that being pregnant, the early pregnancy stages are absolutely. So there I am, like crying one minute, on a call with someone the next. Like it's like, whoa. So it's really interesting. It's really, and then learning that I could have more control of. It's interesting that I'm tapping a lot of my hormones. I think, I'm allowing my memory of what hormones do tarnish this, because I've done a lot of work personally on my hormones, so I don't get premenstrual PMT or anything anymore, because I've worked on the patterns and the mind stuff to do with hormonal patterns and periods that are never on time and stuff like that. So the last few years I've reduced my period pain, my PMT, and my irregularity, which is with tapping. So yeah,
it's amazing stuff, that tapping.
It is. You think, well, actually you could do it with anything. I could do a course on, hormone, but it wouldn't light me up. So it's just something I did. We think that we should do everything that we've done, but we don't necessarily need to. We just no. So yeah, but awesome. Well, put on the vision board about working with me, Marion, and we'll just stay in touch. And I'll be doing. I'm going to be doing a masterclass each month based on one of those things, either the money, purpose, or course creation every month. And there'll be a different promotion to join one of those courses each month. So,
great.
So I'll put it out there to everybody, and you can come along. That'd be amazing. And it will be on Zoom, not on Facebook.
Yay!
Yay! But okay. Well, any other questions? Everyone okay to go? And I will catch up with you soon. You can always message me if you need any. If you want to have a chat, booking a call, just to, I can have a free 30-minute call to decide what your next steps are. I can do that. Let me know.
Thank you.
Mwah. Lots of love. Bye bye. If you're still there, Sarah.
Bye.
And Jackie and Marion, and I'll post you this off. I'll post you this recording off soon. Bye bye.